Yo guys, welcome back to another video at TraderJourney. Thanks so much for joining me on yet another video. I'm excited to talk about this because there's been a lot that's happened throughout the day. So it's a pretty exciting update, and first I'd want to go through Amazon. Now, some of you who have seen my previous video and who have seen across my social media, I have been talking about this stock now for a couple of days, and I'm excited to see what happens now. As you can see from the screen here, we did have a asymmetrical triangle. I know some of you had questioned whether it was going to be bullish or bearish. We were obviously sort of swayed towards seeing this stock as a bullish stock, but we just had to wait to see confirmation for it to leave the asymmetrical triangle, and we finally have seen that confirmation. So as you can see here from the graph, we can see the stock price has actually left the asymmetrical triangle to the upside. So I am expecting this to go on a very quite a large bull run. So what we're waiting for at this point in time, the markets are still open, so you can see the stock move. So we are looking at this live. So we are looking at a supply zone, a previous 4-hour supply zone. So if the Amazon stock does pass through this supply zone, this will give me extra confirmation of what I needed to go long on this stock. Now, I'm actually trading two strategies here on this particular stock. The reason being is we do know Amazon likes to move a lot, and the contracts are not cheap. So for me, I'd like to get that extra confirmation before entering the trade. I do know a lot of people entered this trade earlier because it was bullish, and they entered it as it passed 3209, so which was a great play, and a lot of people made already 50 to 60% profits on that move. But for me, I'm a quite conservative trader, and I'd like to wait for that additional confirmation before entering the trade. So as you can see right now, as we are live, it does seem as though Amazon is going to get through this supply zone. It'll be really interesting to see what happens tomorrow, but I'll be looking to enter this trade fairly soon. I will be going at the money, and I'll be making sure that the expiration date is at least 2 or 3 weeks out. But this is looking to be a very, very big move, guys, especially if we come out of this 4-hour supply zone. That I've got several sort of price levels set for profit targets. It'll just be interesting to see. For me, I'm going to be trading on profit percentages. So if I hit my profit percentage, sorry, I will be sure to be taking the money off the table. But that's not to say this stock, I'll try and go 2-3 contracts for this particular trade, just so I can taper off some of the contracts as we hit certain profit targets. So yeah, as you can see, guys, I did make use of the supply and demand strategy alongside this asymmetrical triangle to ensure we get a proper trade, and it's obviously a more conservative approach. If you wanted to take a more riskier approach, you would have entered the trade on the second candle, because it's clearly left the asymmetrical triangle. So that could have also been your confirmation to enter the trade. But for me, I do like to wait to get additional confirmation of exiting the supply zone. So pretty exciting stuff, guys, and I can't wait to see what Amazon does and what sort of highs it reaches. But judging from what it's done in the past, this triangle is absolutely huge. So I'm expecting this to either reach all-time highs or surpass all-time highs. Now, the last time we really saw some sort of asymmetrical triangle, I'm going to draw it right now, actually, in fact, so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. But here, for instance, we had a perfect asymmetrical triangle loaded up here as well. So I want to show you exactly what happened, guys, when this last came about. So this is very quick analysis here, but I have done this in the past to see what has happened, and it's going to be really interesting for you guys to see this, just so you can get some value from this. So here's a very quick technical analysis, not as accurate as I usually do it, but it's just for the purposes of teaching you guys how it works. So as you can see, this was an asymmetrical triangle. not as clean as the one we're seeing now, but it was definitely a triangle setup. And as you can see, as it left this triangle, look at how big that move was to the upside. It was absolutely huge. This just goes to show that sometimes the simplest trading strategies work. So you just need to understand some of these stocks in order to play these trades. Now, this particular stock, if you had entered it, say, with the same strategy, and you had entered out of the previous supply zone, I'll draw that on there for you guys as well, so you understand my logic as well. So if I was analyzing this trade, for me, this potentially would have been a supply zone. Just gonna put that on here. So right, so this would have been a previous supply zone. As you see, the price broke down as it entered that area. So for me, I would have probably entered the trade as it exited the supply area, and that would have been, or I would have entered around here, and I probably would have exited the trade before it hit the supply zone. But then for me to re-enter this sort of play, I would have waited for it to sort of come out of this supply zone and reach the second candle. So say we played the conservative approach, we would have gone from a rough price of 3337 all the way, say we held up to here, which is again quite conservative. Say we went from 3339 all the way to, that probably would have been a profit target of mine, 3452. Gosh, guys, that move is ridiculous. So you would have gone from 3339, just trying to work out the maths here, guys. Yeah, I mean, that move is huge, guys. That move is huge. I mean, for most people, if you could afford that contract, that would have made a lot of people's salary multiple times. So gosh, guys, that was a huge move, and that was ultra conservative. As I've said, most people, if you wanted to take a more risky approach, you would have entered here, but you could have run the risk of being stopped out. So you need to understand how these stocks move, and need to understand these risky areas before making these plays. Otherwise, you're just going to get stopped out and you're just going to lose money. So I take a very conservative approach. A high probability trades is only the trades and the only setups which I look to trade. So I only trade high probability setups. So for me, I would have entered here at the 3339, 3337, and I would have rode that all the way to maybe even 3451. Or if we went straight to the top, guys, who knows? I could have left one contract to just run, and it could have gone all the way to 3518, in which case you would have made most people's annual salary, judging from that large move. So I mean, that move, for me, looking at these graphs, looking at my technical analysis, I think the move is going to be even bigger coming out of this asymmetrical triangle, because look at the size of the triangles here, guys. We have a much, probably a third smaller triangle compared to this triangle will start forming from the 21st of September. It's absolutely huge. So I'm expecting, if we didn't go with the triangle strategy and we just looked at what the stock was doing, you can see if the stock gets past this area, this supply area. Let me just try and change the illustration. This whole area. Look how every time the stock has come out of this particular area, it's generally made big moves, namely here. But to add to this triangle, I'm expecting, and I'm hoping the stock is going to get to 3495. Well, hoping is the wrong word to use, because that's not how we trade, but based on this particular analysis, it would be highly likely that this stock would reach highs of 3492 within the next 3 weeks. So like I said, guys, it's an exciting time for Amazon. So everyone is generally quite bullish, but I always like to hold. I don't want to have any bias towards the market. I want to see what's actually happening, and for me, this is confirmation the stock is bullish. So as soon as we exit this supply zone, we should see a large move. So keep in mind, guys, I have still not entered the trade because it has still not left this supply zone. So it all depends on what happens in this particular area. It may reject, it may come back down. So that is why I play a conservative approach, because it's just not enough sometimes to use one particular strategy. Sometimes you have to use more than one strategy, and you just have to analyze the data in front of you and see what is a conservative approach, what is a risky approach, what is your stop loss, and assess each situation individually. That obviously sometimes comes with experience, but it becomes easier as you look at these stocks more and more. Now, sometimes you have to improvise and sort of combine two strategies to understand what the stock is doing. Is it a good setup? Is it not? Because one strategy might tell you it is a good setup, another strategy might say against it. So that's why I like to combine these strategies. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that quick update. Just before I go, I do want to give you guys a quick update on some of the stocks I was looking at. So Apple has been upgraded by Morgan Stanley. And look at these. I love trading Apple, guys, and it's one of my favorite stocks to trade. It's something that really sticks out for me, and I understand how the stock moves over the course of the time span on this particular graph. You can see how much I've traded this stock through different strategies, combining strategies, and it's always seemed to work out. Now, currently Apple is in a sort of trading range here. A very tight squeeze is going on here, and it does seem primed for a bigger move. For me, that looks almost like a bull flag, so it is very, very bullish, and the EMAs are spread wide, which is definitely a positive sign for any bullish sentiment in this stock. Now, like I said, Apple has been upgraded by Morgan Stanley, so it does look like we'll see a run very shortly. And it does seem primed for a bigger move. I mean, it's the only area which I think is I'm a bit hesitant to look at this setup is there seems to be an interesting area of supply. I've purposely made this the whole level supply because it does seem that there was a major sell-off before. So for me, and it seems like it's holding just below that supply zone, so it's for me not a trade I'm looking to get into at this moment, but I will see what happens over the coming days and see whether this is a good setup or not. But when we previously saw it exit this area of demand, we did see a huge move to the upside, and to add to that, the stock has been upgraded by Morgan Stanley. So I mean, at the moment it does seem like it's going to go up, but we have to wait and see and wait for the setup, wait for some confirmations before entering this trade. And lastly, just before I end it here, guys, another update. I just want to show you what was happening with AMD. So I know it made that huge bull run, which we made great profits on. You could have played it from the 4-hour supply down below here and basically stepped up and trimmed your contracts as it hit each profit target. It would have been a great play, but I didn't play the initial demand zone. I waited for the second demand zone, which is a very conservative approach, but again, I only like high probability trades. Now, what it seems to be doing now is it seems to be operating within this area of demand, and it seems to be holding there, which is a positive sign for the stock to move up even higher. So I'm interested to see what happens. I mean, the stock fell down and it went straight into demand zone and it came straight back out. So that's a very positive sign for me that this is a strong level of demand. There's a lot of buyers sitting there, so it's only going to push the stock even higher. The EMAs at this point are holding up very well. The stock is just clearly bouncing off the EMA. I believe that's the 9 EMA. Yep. So right now I'm so bullish, but I don't like chasing stocks, so at the moment I'm going to wait to see if it surpasses all-time highs. Then it could be a chance to enter. So at this moment, this just seems like a choppy area. This whole area is pretty choppy, so I will wait till it either surpasses all-time highs before getting in again, or I will see if it falls through demand, which it may do. But AMD is a strong stock, and I think based on this bull run, it may be slightly overextended, but we'll have to wait and see, and I'll be updating you guys on AMD in the days to come. So that's all I wanted to update you guys on. Generally, the market's looking strong. The Fed has announced some more support and some more stimulus, so that is a chance that the stock market is going to continue staying high, and it's still going to be fairly positive news for the market. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, and I'll keep you posted on these stocks and plays which I'm considering taking. And if you haven't as yet, be sure to follow me on my Instagram at TraderJourney_official, and be sure to subscribe, as I'll be updating the channel with all my plays and trading plans on a daily basis. So thanks very much for watching. I will catch you all on the next video. Take care, guys. Goodbye.